I'm just going to talk about a couple of other small things though, and that's something that some of you may know already. I mean, Russia got really just canceled by the world. It's the first time a culture has ever been canceled. First thing that happened is Western leaders claim the ruble is rubble. It's a cute little rhyme, huh? Ruble, which is the monetary unit here, is rubble, which is, you know, garbage. It's destroyed. It was ruble prior to this 76 rubles per United States dollar. It was dropped like a stone in value. At some points it was bouncing around 130 rubles to the dollar, sometimes even close to 150 rubles to the dollar. I just thought I'd let you know that it has stabilized now, and it's about 78 rubles to the dollar. In other words, about where it was before all of this started. So there's actually more damage overall to the dollar worldwide than there is to the ruble right now, but I'm not going to get into that. There are a lot, if you live in the West, you would hear about so many different companies that were leaving Russia, you know, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Boeing, everything, huge companies, and so many of them did. As I said, they decided to just cancel Russian people, cancel Russian culture because of their disagreement with one person. There are some companies that decided that they were going to stay, they weren't going to leave. And one of them, I did a video about this supermarket where I go shopping all the time. It's called Auchan. Auchan is a French company. There's another, in France also has a huge DIY store over here, home improvement store called Leroy Merlin, which also stayed. And the people here in Russia will definitely remember these companies that stayed, and they will definitely remember the companies that left. I would say most of the ones that left, they shouldn't even bother coming back. It won't be worth their while. People will hold a grudge. Anyhow, Auchan, I was happy to see that this French company, Auchan, said that they weren't going to leave. They said that Russian people have a right to eat, to be able to shop in decent supermarkets, and they have an obligation to their employees that they felt. They helped them grow so large over here. So they've stayed open, and that's where I shop. And I have to say, I see different things where they show supermarket shelves in Russia and they show people fighting over sugar. And you see that and you get this impression that, oh my God, even the most barest of necessities are running out. And look, people are fighting over sugar. What the heck? This is ridiculous, okay? During the pandemic and stuff, in America, the thing that people like to stock up on are things such as toilet paper, right? I think you've all remembered back in the pandemics, you couldn't find a roll of toilet paper anywhere. Well, except for maybe San Francisco, since they just go on the streets. They don't need toilet paper. But enough of that. Now, I'm American, so over here, what do I start stocking up on right away at the beginning of these sanctions? Toilet paper. I've got hundreds of rolls now, hundreds, and my wife keeps telling me, just stop, Mark. I said, Bilal, we'll use it all up. I'm going to continue for now. But anyhow. But there are a couple of things that they stock up on here. They're very basic items. Sugar. Most of the times when you see people buying sugar, it's not middle-aged people or young people. It's babushki. They just remember times when you couldn't get food. If you saw food, you took it. So it's sugar, it's flour, and it's something called grechka. Grechka is buckwheat. So it's a type of cereal grain that's very popular here with people for breakfast, or sometimes they even boil it up and serve it with meat with some gravy on it. It's very popular food, and therefore it's bought up. Now the amazing thing is that there's no shortage of sugar. Russia produces plenty of sugar. They produce enough buckwheat to export it, no problem. The same with flour. I mean, wheat flour especially, they export this stuff during normal times. To make a long story short, I go to Auchan every week, and every week after watching things on the news, I expect to see empty shelves. I see no empty shelves. So far at this point, knock on wood, there isn't really a problem with shortages of goods. So that's nice. And I thank Auchan for staying here. Anyhow, I hope you'll enjoy the rest of this video. Again, it's just filmed on my property, me doing little things. It's spring cleaning season now. So without further ado, let's watch them. Yeah, hi, good morning. It's Mark from In America and Russia. And well, right now I'm going to go out and do a little bit of raking of my grass. I see the different colors here, very green and very brown. The brown is just that it's been several years. It's Kentucky bluegrass. It doesn't look very blue, but this is what happens over the winter. It mats down, lots of dead pieces. I rake it all out and lets air get into it, and sunlight and water, and before you know it, it's very green. It's actually the same type of grass as what I have right here. This is also Kentucky bluegrass. It was just put in last fall before the lawn went dormant. So I gotta go out there and rake up some of this dead stuff. That's why I'm dressed up in my grubby yard clothing. So come along with me. You can watch for a minute. Well, it's been about 5 days since I filmed that little clip with me raking in my backyard. I just want to show you out here that everything is, all the snow is gone. Snow is all gone. Raking season is here. I've pretty much finished just about all the raking. Well, I did up front earlier today. Let's go out and take a look at that. A little bit over here, just a little side. The neighbor's mess. This whole front part I did. It's like a piece of cardboard's already blown on it. The sound is probably pretty bad. It's windy out today. Grab this cardboard. I still have to rake a little bit over here on this side, just a very little bit. That's all new grass. new soil. Time to close the compound again. Just take another quick walk out back. Yeah, that's new since last week. It's my big 500-liter water tank I use so I get better pressure when I'm watering my lawn. And as I hook up I fill that from the faucet, it fills it up, and I have a special high pressure pump I attach from that to my sprinklers. But out back here, almost from this very angle, is where I filmed myself out there raking last week. You can see all the snow is gone. It's all gone. And look at that. I'll be darned. Yep, the pergola has been taken from the garage, finally. The pergola is out on the end there. It's in a strange place probably for you to look at, because it's, you probably think, why off to the side? You know, it would seem to look a little bit better if it were in the very back. And it would. But there's a reason. Ignore the little stakes. They're acting like stilts right now. That'll be taken care of later. You can see through the pergola our neighbor's new house. They're not living in it yet. It's just being built, but they have a porch, kind of a high porch, that if they were to just sit out there, they're looking right over the fence and they're looking into our backyard. So this pergola is there to put roses and stuff, rose bushes, and roses will grow up it and give us a little privacy. That's all. Okay, well, yeah. Pretty much all the snow is gone now. Garden is getting cleaned out a little bit, getting started, preparing for planting in another month. Yeah, here is actually one of my favorite places in the yard. It's a nice like park bench we bought. We're going to put another one out back, but this part of the yard is almost always in shade. It's just maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours before sunset that it sees sunlight, direct sunlight. So it's a nice place any time of day, especially on a hot day, to just sit down and relax. Can't see that much because I'm looking at my fence from here. This is a nice place to sit. Today, by the way, at this point the temperature is about 11 degrees Celsius, and that's maybe not the warmest it's been this year, but it's very nice. The day started out 100% sunny. Now it's a little bit cloudy, but I think the sun will keep peeking out every now and then. So today is kind of a nice lazy day. I'll just go out every now and then, do a little more raking, go back in, watch some TV, maybe plan this video, do something. A retiree day. This is a typical pensioner day for me. Okay, thanks.